Mind, Body, and Soul, an A&D conversation. Hosts Annette Harris and Apostle Dion Hunt are ready to bring you some exciting new content. Get ready to talk, laugh, live, and love with conversations you can interact with, shows you can plan, and news you can use. Tune in every Tuesday and Thursday at www.intellectualradio.com. Connect with us on Facebook at Mind, Body, and Soul, an A&D conversation, on Instagram at Mind, Body, Soul AD, and via email at mindbodysoulad@gmail.com.
If you need wisdom for the mind and deep down in your soul, tune in for the ride. It's mind, body, and soul. An Andy conversation. An Andy conversation. An Andy conversation.
All right, we are live. We are live here. You are listening to Mind, Body, and Soul, an A&D conversation. Thank you so much for joining us on this evening. So glad that you are with us. Now, we are here to help infuse you with some wisdom, with a little bit of conversation on this evening. And I am here this evening with Apostle. He is in the house.
Yes, I am.
And I am Annette, and I thank you so much for joining us. You know what? We are going to try and get this party started. When you come into our live feed, would you please do us a huge favor? Like and share. We are on Facebook Live on our page, Mind, Body, and Soul A&D conversation, and we are sharing it also to our own page. I'm sharing it to Annette, known as Annette, and then Apostle will share it on his page as well. And then we are going to just ask you if you would not mind going ahead and sharing it to other individuals so that they can be excited and come on into the conversation with us on this evening. We're also on YouTube right now. YouTube, Mind, Body, and Soul, A&D conversation. Please go there. And if you haven't done so already, as I ask you every week, to go ahead and like our page, go ahead and subscribe to it and click the bell so that when we go live, you will be notified, and we would greatly appreciate it. Also, you can listen to us on the station's website, intellectualradio.com. Again, intellectualradio.com. That is one word, and you can go there now to hear us. So there should be no way for you to miss us on this evening. And we are glad it's the beginning of the week for us, even though it's Tuesday. How are you feeling on this evening?
I'm feeling wonderful, except for the cold.
Except for the cold?
Well, the cold is okay, but at least it's not snowing.
I'm going to say it's not that bad outside,
Yeah,
is it?
it's not that bad.
No.
At least it's not snowing.
Okay, you're just getting a little spoiled there.
Yeah.
Huh? Well, we are in the winter months, so it is expected.
Old man winter.
Yes, that we are here. How was your weekend?
It was wonderful. Wonderful. Got a lot of stuff done. We had a wonderful service at church on Sunday.
Awesome.
Oh my God. God showed up and moved out.
Is that what he
At
did?
So-called the Center.
So-called the Center. Where are you located?
We're at 12642 South Massasoit Avenue in Palos Heights, Illinois.
Oh, you're in the burbs.
Yeah, we're in the burbs right
Okay, well, that's a good thing. Good thing.
now. Check us out.
Yes. I need to get by there again. Have been there two so-called
Right.
a few times, a different location. But yeah, I got to get back over there.
Well, we're not trying to pull you out of your church.
Well, of course.
Go to your church.
Of course.
But, you're welcome to visit.
Isn't he nice?
Yeah.
But I'm a part of so-called. Don't y'all get that wrong.
You're
okay?
So-callian. Definitely.
They have welcomed me with open arms, and there is such a delight to be a part of. But yeah, if you guys get a chance to head on over there to Palos Heights on a Sunday, maybe you can get out of your service and go on over there and join them. Apostle has a word from the Lord. He's a good speaker. I've heard him. He's good. Little something.
To God be the glory.
Right. That's a blessing. Well, we had a great time in service on Sunday as well at my church, Abounding Life Church of God in Christ over in Posen. So we're not that far, the 2P 2P
Yeah.
suburb
I know
names.
Posins. Yeah, I know Posins.
So the Lord blessed that we really couldn't get through our service because the Holy Ghost kind of took over.
See,
So I
that's
love
what I'm
those kind of
talking about.
services.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Holy Ghost take over.
Yes,
Absolutely.
it was a lot of praise going on, and we
Mhm.
just knew the Lord wanted to be praised, and praise and worship was great, and then it just kind of went forth from there. So I'm still excited about it because it was a very good time we had in the Lord. So anytime you can't get to the announcements in the church,
See, that's what I'm talking.
and then you go straight to the message.
You know what? I said something about that on Sunday
Mhm.
because it was so difficult for us to come out of praise and worship.
Wow.
And why do we think we have those experiences? We don't have those experiences just so we can say we felt good or that we can talk about it on social media. I believe that those experiences come to change us. That there is something that we're supposed to pull out of that experience where we're no longer the same, or we're at least not who we were prior to the experience. And so anytime glory falls in a room, it's supposed to change us. We're supposed to come out better. And so it's awesome to hear that it was not just happening at Saul Call, that's something that God was doing.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
I believe that.
I believe it.
believe that. And when he wants his glory,
Yes.
he's gonna get it.
Yes,
He's gonna
absolutely.
get it.
Absolutely.
But it was great, and it also kind of I'm just gonna say this, and we can move on. But it kind of went into what the Lord had been dealing with me about probably for the past 3 or 4 weeks.
Mhm.
And I actually posted it on Facebook, just simple: pray, then praise. Because we go through so much and we're dealing with so many different things. And okay, we'll sit, we'll pray about it. But sometimes we pick it back up again.
Absolutely.
Or we're okay, maybe we can figure it out this way or what have you. And then Lord spoke to me. He said, okay, if you pray, believe your prayer.
And release it, give it to him.
Release it and then praise me for it.
Absolutely.
And that's just been sticking with me.
Something as simple as that.
Something as simple as
can
that.
change your whole outlook.
Definitely.
Wonderful.
Now, I see you guys coming into the Facebook live feed, and thank you so much again for joining us on this evening. Do a couple of shout outs. I see Brandy on here. Thank you for joining and watching us on this evening. Carnett Werner, how are you, big sister cousin? Minister Kamitra's Hunt, Evangelist Kamitra's Hunt.
Evangelist.
You all forgive me. I think I get titles wrong and everything. So, charge it to my head.
And then there's so many Hunts out there.
This is true. This is so true. So true. Celeste Jackson, I see you on, businesswoman. Appreciate you for joining us. I'm glad you're here because we're going to be talking about this great topic on tonight that I want to see if you can help us out with as well. Joe McCord, thanks for watching on this evening. Now, I'm not sure if you guys are just now joining us or did you hear the beginning when we first came in. We had a little surprise for you guys on this evening. We have been blessed to have our own jingle for Mind, Body, and Soul A&D.
Yes, I'm excited about it.
Yes, I'm excited. So I don't know, you guys kind of chime in on the Facebook Live. Let me know if you get a chance to hear it. We will play it again before tonight is over. But I'm excited because LaShonda Lewis, she's a praise and worship artist, but she and her husband, Joseph Lewis, they got it. They did it.
Yeah.
Yes.
They knocked it out.
Yes. So it's something that's kind of catchy and everything. So I want to give a huge shout out to the Lewises and appreciate them. LaShonda Lewis Music is her company. So we appreciate that. Oh, I see Joe. Are you dancing, Joe? I think Joe's dancing. All right. All right. So this is great. This is great stuff here. So let's see. I think we can go into our current events. What do you think, Apostle?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You know what? Real quick, I was looking, a couple weeks ago, there was a recall on I think it was romaine lettuce.
Yes.
Just today, there's 5.1 million pounds of beef that has been recalled. Yes, in the United States for salmonella poisoning.
Are you serious?
Yes, I just saw that earlier today on CNN. And so, I'm wondering, what can we eat? You done took away the lettuce. But I think lately, over the last couple of days, they've said lettuce is becoming more and more safe. I'm not sure if I
Trust that.
trust more and more safe. But definitely the 5.1 million pounds, that's a lot of meat that has been recalled for salmonella poisoning. And so we really have to make sure that we watch what we eat, check the dates on the packaging.
For
You know,
sure.
look at the meat thoroughly. Sometimes you'll see some discoloration. Sometimes, you know, I always try to, you know, when I do go grocery shopping, I try to get the most recent date, you know, that's available. But even I heard someone talking about it on last week or maybe a week or so before Thanksgiving, even looking at turkeys, you know, not to get the frozen meat because when it's frozen, it hides the fact that it's spoiled. So yeah, so when you're at the grocery store, get the meat that's not frozen.
Oh my goodness. That's
So
actually good to know.
yeah,
Or to
so
remember, should I
right.
say. Oh my God.
So
I
yeah,
didn't know that about the beef.
I just saw it today, and I
So
said,
did it
well,
just pop up today? You just or
I
do you
was,
know?
you know what? It says it's recalled. Or there's a recall. Um, the massive ground beef recall expands. It says 12 million pounds.
Okay, did it originate somewhere? I mean, are they just gonna say just in
Mm,
general? Where?
Let me see.
Because I need to know. I just somebody just bought some beef the other day, so they need to know.
JBS Tolleson Inc. is recalling more than 5.1 million pounds of raw beef products that may be tainted with salmonella. The U.S. Department of Agriculture's Food and Safety Inspection Service said Tuesday, so that's today.
Wow.
So the recall beef was produced and packaged between July 26th and September the 7th. Wow, that's like
Whoa, really?
months ago, according to the service. The products may have been distributed nationwide and include brands Kroger, Laura's Lean, and JBS Generic.
Uh-oh.
So I don't know if you're familiar with Kroger is big in like Indiana,
Right.
my hometown, Indianapolis.
So you have some Indiana news.
Yeah. Well, it says it's nationwide though.
Okay.
But Kroger's just not big. I don't think it's big in Chicago.
Okay.
So
That's not good. Okay, so you guys make sure I mean, I'm telling you, you have to pray. But you know what? you mentioned that it happened. I mean, it would expand back some months.
right.
I think sometimes they just don't tell us stuff straight out.
I'm telling you. I believe the same thing. It says the total amount of non-intact raw beef products that have been recalled now exceeds more than 12 million pounds.
Wow.
That's a lot. The recall beef is linked to an outbreak of salmonella that, as of November 15th, has caused 246 people to become sick in 25 states,
Scary.
according to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. No deaths have been reported, but 56 people have been hospitalized.
Oh my goodness. That's enough right
careful.
there. Yes, please be careful. Oh my goodness. Okay, you guys, I see this. I don't know if any of you heard about that or not. Relanda, I see you on Mama Gwen. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you. Let's see if we can move on to something else. Michelle, thank you for the links that you've given us for the current events as well. So let's see. I think probably the biggest thing on social media now or in the news is the late now President George H.W. Bush.
Yeah.
Passed away on Friday.
Yeah. Sorry to hear that. I mean, 94 years old.
Yes.
So he lived a full life. And when you think about that family, they have two presidents, a governor, his wife who passed earlier this year, Barbara Bush, did a lot of work that has been recognized. And so very, very powerful family.
Yes.
How they utilize their power can be a topic of discussion.
Of course.
But a very powerful family, and he's the patriarch of it. And that's something I just wouldn't wish on anybody.
Yeah, for sure.
And so my heart goes out to the family, definitely.
Yes, for sure. 94 years old.
And you know what? Despite his political beliefs and some of the things that he did while he was president, and that trickled down to his son. He was he was very presidential, very
Yes.
diplomatic, classy. Um, he was a far cry from what we have right now. And so our current president is making us appreciate so many things in past presidents that maybe we didn't even vote for or didn't agree with.
Right.
And so, I'm sure that those that are close to him and his family, they're grieving heavily. I believe they had a service that was today.
Yes, because they had a couple of different ones, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Same thing with like John McCain. They had several different services. How do you feel about that when well, it would depend on who you voted for, or what you believe in. When certain people pass in the political arena that maybe you didn't support
Or didn't agree with.
Like I see nothing wrong. Like when John McCain passed, I made a post about it. My heart goes out to the Bush family.
Right.
It doesn't matter to me in a situation like this where someone loses their life. All that other stuff with beliefs and stuff go out.
Yes, and see that's my thing. I think I was just listening to a good friend of mine. I had a live feed earlier, and he mentioned about how when Bush just passed, that he put up a post about it, and then somebody came in his inbox and said, "Don't ever let me hear you, saying anything about or basically recognizing Bush again." And he was like, "Hello, I mean, this is his wall, number one, and number two." And she's like, "Well, I basically I've spoken. Don't do it again." I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, really? When you look at in the scope of things, again, just like you just explained, that's still a life.
It's still a life.
He was somebody's father. He was somebody's husband. He was somebody's son. And again, if you didn't agree, it's not like you are, jumping up and down and like singing his praises or anything, but at least you're recognizing, because there were some contributions.
Absolutely. And that's the highest office in this land and in the world. We're the most powerful country in the world. For anybody to sit in that seat, I mean, I'm certain that there are things that they undergo and experience that we have no knowledge of. And so for him to do it with the grace that he was able to do it, I think that speaks of his character, and at least a portion of his character. And there's something called class.
Yes.
It really shows that you're able to think above certain things. See, we're in a season now, and a time now where we can't disagree. If we disagree, then that means you're on the opposite team, or you're an enemy. And I think that it takes a certain level of maturity and class to disagree with certain viewpoints and still see someone's value at its core, or at least the value of their life, and so my heart yet goes out to the family,
right?
And I'm praying for them.
Definitely. I always put myself into other people's shoes sometimes, mentally, just to can't see how they could, be feeling. So, I mean, you can't be heartless, or you shouldn't be, should I say? Because some people are.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that was interesting. That was like the main thing, as I stated. Now, there were a couple of things. Actually, she gave me a myriad of current events. But one thing that really, really caught my attention that bothered me so bad, and I have to tell you why. But let me read this headline.
Oh, God, yeah.
A woman was stabbed to death while trying to help a homeless woman with baby. Some of you may have seen this circulating around on Facebook. This happened in Baltimore, Maryland. And I actually have family, my sister and her husband and family, they live out there. And they were the first ones that actually shared this with me on this morning. Now it says here, a Baltimore woman was stabbed to death after she stopped to give a homeless woman money to help her and her baby. The shocking incident has caused some people to think twice about helping strangers.
Mhm.
And it says here, I was like, this was somebody said they were shocked when they saw it, and when they saw a photo of the victim. They said when they saw the flyer, it could have been me or my husband, you know. That's what the person said. So it says the Baltimore police report 52-year-old Jacqueline Smith was stabbed to death after trying to help the panhandler. Smith was a passenger in a car and rolled down her window to give money to a woman who appeared to be holding a baby. She also held a sign that read, "Please help feed my baby." An unknown man walked up, reached inside to grab Smith's wallet, and there was a struggle. Investigators tell WMAR, which is the station that reported this, he took out a knife and stabbed Smith in the torso before running away with a woman holding the sign.
My God.
Odella Taylor said, "I'm not going to stop my car. You know, the way times are, you don't know who to stop the car for. It's normally quiet around here." So it was a shock to her that she heard something like that. And then it says the driver of the car took Smith to the hospital, but she later died from her stab wounds. Now, what I was sent this morning was a video of the husband, husband of the woman that passed, and he is the one that drove her to the hospital. He was the one that was driving, and he actually said that he and his wife were on the way to take their daughter home, I believe, or something. And then the wife spotted the lady with the baby. She said, "Oh, can you please give him some money?" He said he hesitated. He said he really did not want to do it. He felt within the spirit not to do it. But she insisted.
He also said that was something that it wasn't the norm for her. I saw a video that said it wasn't the norm
for the wife to say that. Okay. And so he said they stopped, did that, and he said all of a sudden the man, and it happened so fast, I guess, with the man stabbing.
Yeah.
And so he jumped out the car to try and run after him, and then he heard his wife screaming. So, you know, okay, I'm gonna try and tell this story, because yesterday when I was leaving out of the house, it was like mid-morning. I was leaving out of the house, and I was going to my vehicle. I had my bag on my arm, and then I had my purse. So I said to myself already in my mind, I'm going to go and put everything in the trunk and just bring to the front what I need. You know, this was before me going to work. And so as I was doing that, I had my hatch up on my truck. And then all of a sudden, this car comes down the street, stops right where my car was, just a little bit ahead of, but they were in the middle of the street. Now I'm watching because, number one, I don't recognize this vehicle and didn't recognize who was inside. So on the passenger side was a woman. And so she, you know, tried to get this like concerned look on her face. And I'm still in the back, you know, with my hatch up. She gets out. She had a piece of paper, and she comes to me and she says, she tried to shove it in my face. She said, "Have you seen my dog?" Everything was happening so fast. Yeah. Immediately, I closed my hatch, I locked my door, and I walked away from her so fast. I said no, because I knew she was up to no good. And I knew that if I stared at that piece of paper too long, if there was going to be some kind of a distraction going on. Because there was a man in the truck, because they were in the big black truck. There was a man in the truck. Now, if she was really looking for her dog, why did they have to pull right there? And how come she couldn't roll down her window and ask me something? Why did you have to get out? I knew it was, you know, and so I don't know. I mean, I know the Lord was with me, but I got in my car and I started thinking, it kind of unnerved me a little bit. I said, did I react fast enough? You know, what if all this stuff was going through my mind? And then the next day I hear about this.
My God.
And I said, oh my God. And I had actually messaged, because my family, we have a thread, you know, a texting thread. And as soon as I got in the car, because at first I was going to go back in the house, I said, no. And then on top of that, I had my car keys and my house keys are on a separate ring, and they were already in the vehicle. And I didn't want to open back up the vehicle anymore. So when they pulled off is when I went ahead and got in my car. And so I was texting my family, you all be careful out here. So I started telling them everything that went on. And then the next morning, my nephew messages this story. And I said, oh my God, you know, I don't know what could have happened? I
Yeah,
don't know.
you don't know. And this is the time of year, well, really all year round, but people are getting desperate.
Yes,
Um,
holiday season.
Holiday season, and you have to be alert. You have to know everything that's around you, all the moving pieces, all the moving parts. You have to pay attention because people will take advantage of your distraction, like they were trying to distract you.
Yes.
They will take advantage of that, and it's so unfortunate that people will play on your vulnerability
Mhm.
towards them.
Yes.
So I feel sorry for you. I have sympathy for you, and I'm going to use that as my advantage, or a way to get an advantage over you,
Yes.
and take something from you.
Mhm.
It really messes you up,
It
because
does.
especially if you're a giving person. Like, I'm a giving person. So when I saw that, and when I hear, my instinct is to help. So have you seen my dog? When I hear stuff like that, it really messes with me, because I feel like now I have to shift in who I really am as a person.
Right. I
You
mean,
know?
but it's to protect yourself.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I saw her glance when my hatch was, before I closed it. I saw her glance in my car.
Mhm.
And I'm thinking to myself, okay, your dog not in here.
Right.
And I just knew. And then when she went back to go get in her car, she acted like she was on the telephone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a pit bull. Well, if you had a pit bull, it would have been on that paper. I didn't see a pit bull on that paper. I'm gonna tell you that.
Wow.
So I knew they were up to no good.
And then they saw you loading your vehicle.
Exactly.
So, there's got to
Mhm.
be something in there.
Exactly. Ooh-wee. Okay, let's see here. Who's on here? Dr. Hunt, I see you on. Thanks for watching. LaShonda. All right, we just talked about LaShonda Lewis and that wonderful jingle that she and her husband have
Wonderful.
blessed us with. We appreciate it. We're excited. Elder Kevin McGee is on. Greetings to you. Thank you for watching. Angela Johnson, we appreciate you. Sharonda Robinson, Demetria Brand Triplet, sending out a prayer request for Demetria Brand Triplet. Please make sure you all pray for her. And we're just believing God. Okay, Cornelius Blakeney. Blakeney?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry for mispronouncing your name. Thank you
Broham.
so much for watching. Okay, he said no meat. I think when we were talking about the beef recall there. Let's see here. What other comments did I miss before we go on? Brandy says here, that story will definitely make me think twice about interacting with homeless people or strangers in general. You just can't be nice. Yeah, Brandy, I think we're all kind of thinking that. Yeah. Yes, LaShonda, pepper spray. And you know what? I'm glad she said that, because remember when I said I got back in the car and I was trying to think, because my mind was going so fast, and it could have happened so fast. I normally keep my mace in my car.
Oh, wow.
And I said, I'm gonna start keeping that mace on my person now.
Right.
Because if anything had went down, I could have used it,
Absolutely.
But yeah, I just thank God for sparing. Elder Kevin McGee says, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, yes, good scripture. The devil as a roaring lion walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. Unfortunately, the lions look like sheep. You're right. Kayla, thank you for watching, sweetie. Okay, and let's see, what else do we have here? We have so many other current events. Let me see what we have here. Michelle Thomas, I appreciate you, because she just gives me loads and loads of stuff here. Okay. You know what? This was kind of interesting, because I was wondering how it made the news.
Mhm.
A 9-year-old gets Colorado town to end ban on snowball fights. Did anybody see that?
What?
You see the look on my face. A 9-year-old boy has convinced the leaders of a small northern Colorado town to overturn a nearly century-old ban on snowball fights.
Why was there a ban on snowball fights?
Well, maybe they were out of hand. I don't know. Maybe they were out of control. Who knows? But there was one. And he says he already knows who his first target will be, his little brother. So he went down there and had them to change there just so he could start throwing snowballs. I'm like, this must have been a slow news day or something for this one to come up. Yeah, so he actually, the story was that he told his mom, I want to throw snowballs or whatever, and it was a ban on it. So he's like, Mom, can you go down there and change it? She was like, no, you go down there and change it. So they're calling him like a.
How big is the town? Does it say how big is the town?
Oh, let me
A
see.
Colorado town?
Colorado. Yeah, it must be a small
It's got to
town.
be a small town.
I'm trying to. No, I don't see a population number here. But yeah. But I guess after they overturned it, he went outside and grabbed some snow and threw his first snowball.
Man.
Quite kind of exciting, huh? Really?
But you know, I haven't had a snowball fight in years, so
Right.
that's not really.
Yeah. Okay.
I think the last one I had was in college. Yeah,
That was a long time ago.
I caught that. Wasn't that long ago.
It wasn't that long ago.
No.
Okay, let's see here. What do we have in the USA today? Oh my goodness. Okay, AOL was just hit with a record fine over privacy concerns. Did you hear about that?
Mm-mm.
Okay, let's see. AOL will pay New York a nearly $5 million fine after the state accused the online company of selling ads that targeted children. Ooh, I think I
Wow.
heard a little bit about this. I didn't hear the whole thing. So it says here, the parent company Oath, OATH, agreed to pay the settlement after violating the Federal Children's Online Privacy Protection Act. You guys better
wow.
listen to this. Okay, so Attorney General Barbara Underwood said the $4.95 million fine is the largest ever issued since the law was enacted in 1998. So obviously they must have not paid attention to this law. It says COPPA is meant to protect young children from being tracked and targeted by advertisers online. So okay, so now AOL has to pay. Well, the parent company is going to pay, but yeah, this is interesting. You have to say anything about that? Nothing.
You know what? You got to be careful nowadays when you're online, because they have so many ways to track your movement, you know, and it's funny. What's not funny is really deliberate. Like you can have certain searches, you know, if I'm looking at sports, or if I'm looking at certain apparel, then you'll start getting advertisements in your on Facebook, on other forms of social media. They'll start showing up in wherever you frequent on the internet. Okay. And so it's funny how they, you know, how they track stuff, and nothing you do online is not traceable.
True.
Is not traceable. And I used to say this all the time, and I still say it. The great thing about the internet is that you can find anything on the internet. But the horrible thing about the internet is you can find anything on the internet. It's the same thing. And so
that's very true.
You know,
very true.
It's a blessing and a curse.
Yes.
And so you really have to be mindful of how you govern yourself, and how we teach our children how to govern themselves on a World Wide Web.
Just like the scripture said, be vigilant. So we have to. Now, going back to that 9-year-old, Elder McGee says here, a 9-year-old can get a ban lifted on snowballs, but we can't get government to ban assault weapons. I'm just saying. Brandy's like, I'm in agreement. Yeah, she's not amused. I thought that was so interesting, because I would love to know, and I don't know what the reason why, like you said, why did they originally have the ban? There must have been some reason for it. Yeah,
somebody was getting hurt, probably. You know, it was probably getting out of hand. But just some to go along with what that statement you just made, I saw someone else post today that the government can shut down the sale of romaine lettuce, but they can't bring us gun reform, comprehensive gun reform.
Right.
And so it's all a matter of what is important, really. Yeah.
And you find out what's important to the government.
Yeah.
You will.
Dollars and cents.
Yes, money. Brandy says here, they will even hit your email inbox. Those online cookies track you everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. You guys have on here have any news that we did not touch that you wanted to share with us? You can throw them in the inbox, or we'll open up the phone lines tonight because we're going to take a break and then actually come back so we can get into our hot topic for this evening. We had someone to message us and ask us to talk about this on tonight. And we're going to be discussing Black-owned businesses, whether we should should support them regardless.
Even if they're more expensive, even if they're substandard.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Ouch.
That's a big ouch.
So what degree should we support Black-owned businesses?
I like that. You summarized that very well.
Thank you very much.
That's
Thank
good. Good job, Apostle. Good job. So I want you guys to be thinking about that because when we come back, we're going to open up the phone lines, have a little conversation about this on tonight because I've seen down through this Facebook Live feed, there are a number of Black-owned businesses that are on here on this evening. So we want to hear from you all as well.
Yes.
So you're listening to Mind, Body, and Soul, an A&D conversation.
The sun is gonna shine again. Just wait and see. Hold your head high. The sun is gonna shine again on you and me. It may be cloudy outside. The sun is gonna shine again. Just wait and see. Hold your head high. The sun is gonna shine again on you and me. Things are looking so good, just didn't turn out the way you thought that it should. Seems like it's cloudy all day long, but the storm will pass and you can sing a new song. But you gotta keep your head up high, and know that you're never alone. In Him you can rely. Your storm will pass, just wait and see. Don't ever lose faith in humanity. When the winds are blowing and the skies are gray, trust in Him, He'll make the way. The sun is gonna shine again. Just wait and see. Hold your head up high. The sun is gonna shine again. Take your burdens and leave them there.
There's a brighter day on the way. Just pray.
The sun is gonna shine. The sun will shine. Just wait and see. Hold your head high. Hold your head up. The sun is gonna shine again. Now let's go. Philippians 4:7. Everybody's going through something, but you gotta keep your head up. In spite of your situation, the sun is gonna and when you can't work it out, He'll make a way. 'Cause He is good. Can I get a hey? Now throw your hands up. The sun is gonna and let it shine. Tell them, Keon. Shine.
If you need wisdom for the mind and deep down in your soul, tune in for the ride. It's mind, body, and soul. An Andy conversation. An Andy conversation. An Andy conversation.
You're back with us at Mind, Body, and Soul, and
A&D conversation. I'm gonna get that right one day.
We got it.
We got it.
Yeah, we got it. And we want to thank you for joining us on tonight. We have a very hot topic on tonight dealing with Black-owned businesses. Do you buy Black? Do you support Black? Do you support Black first? And to what degree should you? This is a very, very hot topic, especially going into the holiday season and in the age where everybody's an entrepreneur, everybody has their own business, everybody has their own hustle. How, to what degree and what extent do you support your fellow brothers and sisters in the business world? Now, what would be some reasons to support? I guess, of course, we want to see, or we should. Oh my God, we should want to see one another succeed. And
I think you need to repeat that.
we should. I don't think that that's always the case, but we should want to see one another succeed. And so when it comes to supporting someone who's a fellow brother or sister, to what extent should you go to bat for them? To what extent should you lend your support?
Okay.
That's the question, and I think that's a very heavy question. It's a pertinent question, because people who don't support Black-owned businesses can be seen in a negative light, but we haven't really asked the question why.
Right.
And so maybe if we talk about why some people don't do that, then this can be rectified. So you can call in 708-223-8953. Give us your experience. Give us, if you have a Black-owned business, if you're Black and own a business, call in and let's talk about it. Let's talk about your experiences. 708-223-8953.
You know what, Apostle, I think we need to do real quick.
What's that?
We need to check on something. So can my producer, can you give me a quick second, take me to a quick break? There's something we need to check on this end. And then we'll come right back for more Mind, Body, and Soul.
We won't move till you meet us. We will wait. Fill us again. Fill us again. We won't move until you meet us. We will wait. Fill us again, fill us again. We need you like never before. We want you more and more, more and more. We need you like never before. We want you more and more, more and more. You're who we're waiting for. We won't move. Till you meet us, we will wait. Feel us again, feel us again. Say we won't, Father, till you meet us, we will wait. Feel us again. Feel us again. Say we need you before. Said we want you, Lord, more and more and more, more and more. We need you like never before. Yes, we want you, Lord, more and more and more, more and more and more. You're who we're waiting for. Oh, said I'm desperate for your presence. There's nothing like your presence. Fill this house with your presence, Lord. Let your glory fall like rain. Fill this house with your presence, Lord. Let your glory fall like rain. Fill this house with your presence, Lord. Let your glory fall like rain. Fill this house with your presence, Lord. Let your glory fall like rain. Let it fall, let it fall, let it fall. Fill this house with your presence, Lord. Let your glory fall like rain. Fall like rain. Oh, fill this house with your presence. Fill us. We're ready for you, rain. Oh, God, would you fill this temple? God, we want you, rain. We don't want to be dry anymore. Fill us, yeah. Write it down. Write it down. Fill us up, Lord. Fill us up, God. Oh, yeah. I'm the moment unless you're here. I'm the moment unless you're here. Oh, yeah. Fill me up, Jesus. Fill me up, Lord. Said I'm desperate for your presence. I gotta have more. Yes, I gotta have more. Fill me up, Lord. Until I overflow. Lots of me more of you, God. It's all I need. Oh, we need you like never before. We want you more and more and more. You're who we're waiting for. Fill our hearts, oh Lord. If you need wisdom for the mind and deep down in your soul, tune in for the ride. It's mind, body, and soul. An Andy conversation. An Andy conversation. An Andy conversation.
All right. Welcome back. Sorry, we had a little technical difficulties there. We were trying to straighten out. So thank you so much for your patience. We wanted to try and get into our topic for this evening. Just do me a favor. Please go ahead and share this live feed again for me, because I know we lost some listeners or watchers. And if you could do that for me, we would really, really appreciate it. So that first live feed on the the page Mind, Body, and Soul A&D has ended, and we have another one up. So I've shared it to my page, and we're going to share it to other groups as well. So we were talking about supporting, whether or not we should support Black-owned businesses.
Yes.
So how do we come about with this topic?
Well, it was submitted to us by a business owner, and sometimes we go into business and we automatically assume that we're going to get support from a certain demographic, and it's not always the case. And I think sometimes we don't even see the importance of controlling our own dollars. And so that's part of what the support does, is it gives us as a people, as a race, as an ethnicity, to be able to support our own dollars and not rely on our financial stability from people who we feel don't share our same mindset or even are sensitive to our needs. And so it's really a mindset that we have to get into, to where we support one another in the area of business. But how far do we take that when you're confronted with a business that gives you substandard product or service? Is that a reality? Is that something that we should definitely consider? First of all, let's just say that there's substandard quality in product and or services in businesses across the board. We're not saying that this is something that is only in the Black community, but should your support supersede that? Should you endure substandard quality in product or service just in the name of supporting Black-owned businesses?
Right. Yeah. Now, here's and we want to open up phone lines again. 708-223-8953. That's what we were saying before we had to go to that last quick break. 708-223-8953. We want to hear from you all on this evening. So please share in this conversation with us. My thoughts, and I'm sure a lot of us probably feel this way. If you're going to support something, all in the name. Now, okay, I'm trying to weigh my words here.
Hey.
Okay, so for instance, like my regular doctor, my dentist, my OBGYN, I like to have Black,
Okay,
African Americans. That's just me.
okay.
To support them, and then to know, that my brother or my sister is, helping me out. So
okay, so why did you prefer? Because let me piggyback off that, because I just had a doctor's appointment yesterday.
Okay.
And got a full checkup. And my aunt, who's a wonderful nurse, she set it up for me. And she said, when she called me to set up my appointment, she said, I took the liberty of scheduling you with a male doctor because I knew you would prefer a male doctor. And I said, yes, auntie, I would prefer a male doctor. Thank you very much. And so I preferred male. So let's break it down to the simplest form. I preferred male because I knew that, number one, I would be more comfortable talking to the male doctor. And then I would be more comfortable talking to the male doctor about any male issues.
Right. Yeah.
And that he would be able to assist me, and I would feel comfortable dealing with and interacting with him. So even on that level alone, I gravitated to the male doctor as opposed to the female doctor. Is that same mindset cause to support a black business, a black owned business versus any other race?
Yeah, I mean,
Because when you think about stuff like hair care products,
okay.
skincare products, when you talk about restaurants and food, you know what I mean? So how is it more of a thing of where you support where you're more comfortable and where you think you'll be better served, or is it more economical and financial that we're doing this in order to uplift us financially?
Right. I was just doing it. My mentality, those examples I just gave you about me, is because I wanted to just support our own.
Okay.
If we have, if I know of a doctor or OBGYN and I'm like, okay, they're doing that thing, I want to support them. That's my first mentality. Now, the rest of this we were talking about on today is, should we just support regardless? Now, that's where it gets a little sticky.
Yes.
Or a lot of sticky. Because if I come to you, you're a black owned business, and I'm getting crappy service, you're not professional. Maybe I shouldn't say crappy, but anyway, you're not professional. Then I have a problem with that, and you will probably not see me anymore.
So let's look at because you just laid it out there, but for a second, for a millisecond, let's take race out of it.
Okay.
And let's define the unprofessional business.
Ooh, that's good. That's good right there.
Because you just said if you're not doing what I asked you to do, I'm gonna leave you alone. And but actually that's the mindset, and nobody at the end of the day is twisting your arm and making you buy from them or use their services. You go there because it's your choice. And so if they're not meeting a standard, then you have every right to go somewhere else. And you're exercising that right and basically saying that, no, I'm not going to be burdened by your puppy dog eyes. I'm going somewhere else because my dollars,
my dollars mean something.
Exactly.
I make money.
So what if the business has faulty products or services? Now, I was reading something and it says,
okay, see, now you go. Okay, wait a minute. Maybe we should stop. Let's stop. Let's start. What was the first thing you said?
An unprofessional business.
Unprofessional business
has faulty products and or services. This is one of the things that makes a business unprofessional.
Right, but didn't you say something before, Layla? Or was that was your first point?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I thought you said maybe it was in my mind.
Maybe you about to jump the gun.
Maybe I'm already in there. Okay, wait. Okay, let's do this. I see you guys here on Facebook Live. Come on, we want you guys to please have this conversation with us.
Please join in.
We're here in the studio, but we want to hear from you all as well. I see you, Sean Platinum Brown. Thanks for watching. Kanan Davenport, Jordana, D'Amica. She says, "Hey y'all, appreciate you for coming in and supporting us on this evening, supporting this Black-owned radio show."
Right. Wonderful.
Thank you so much. No, but we want to hear from you guys. So, okay. So if they have, did you say faulty business?
Products or services, what they're selling you don't work. It doesn't work.
No, that's a no for me.
So it says unprofessional businesses promise quality products or services but do not deliver.
I need examples.
These substandard, hold up, it gets better. These substandard products or services instead may malfunction prematurely or even endanger customers.
Oh no, that's a big no for me. I can't have you endangering my life.
Well, so you want examples. So you laying it out. So say hair care products.
Okay. Oh, that's a good one.
This product said, I read the back of it. It said it was going to lay my hair down. But my hair is still. No, seriously. So what do you do? and you know the person that's doing this, you know the person that manufactured this, that's producing this. How far should you go? Now it goes on to say that people who are unprofessional in their products or services, when they have faulty products or services, they also go on to be in denial of their faulty products and services, and many times they refuse refunds.
Okay.
So when you're dealing with someone who has a business and what they're selling you does not work, and they are in denial that what they're selling you either doesn't work or it didn't meet the standard that you advertised to them. I'm going to give you this, it's going to be on that level, and it didn't meet that standard. And then when you confront them about it, they're in denial. First of all, do you confront them at all?
Okay, you asking a whole lot of questions that I just want to jump in here with 2 feet. Okay, let's see here.
Yes.
Okay, so let me ask you this first before I even go into that, responding to your questions. Is this like a first time I went there?
First time.
And oh my goodness,
First
the first time. Oh, I'm not coming back. Well, no,
Oh,
no,
wow.
I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that because you don't want to automatically assume that that's what maybe they had a bad day.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a bad work day or something for them. I think we have a caller on the lines. Hello, this is A&D Conversation.
Ooh, y'all know I was chomping at the bit to get in on this.
How are you, Brand?
I'm wonderful. How about you?
Doing great.
Let me state this because I'm going to sound harsh. I am a Black business owner. My business is my bread and butter. Okay, so I'm not in any way against Black businesses. Whenever I can patronize one, I'm going to do it. However, we patronize Black businesses to uplift the Black community, to keep our dollars and support our people. However, it does not do our people or our community any good if we continue to support businesses that are substandard. If I am continuing to run you my money, even though you are unprofessional or even though your product is not up to par, then how does that push you to do better? I want you to not only get support, I want you to have a great business. I want you to be up to par, be the best business that you can. But by me just supporting your business blindly because you're Black, that doesn't help you. You're going to get my money then, but you will never get it again. And not to mention, I haven't told you what's wrong with your business to hope that you will take it in love or support. I haven't told you what's wrong. So the next person that comes is going to give you their money then, but you'll never get it again. So you don't get that word of mouth. You don't get people telling other people how great your business is. And to be quite frankly, you don't have a good business. So this isn't a positive thing for you. It's worse for you to not have a business than to have a business that people are talking bad about. So I guess what I'm saying is I support Black businesses as long as I can. I wish that I had a ton of money to just experiment with every time and try a new business and see, okay, let me see if this is going to work. I know whenever I go to Target, or I know whenever I go to a big box business, or wherever I go, I know that they're going to either give me a standard of product or work, or I know I can complain and get my money back and probably get more back from my trouble. That's not usually the issue when you have a Black business. When I have dealt with Black businesses, and it has not been a lot. Unfortunately, I've built kind of a community of trusted providers, but when you venture out and try a new one, sometimes you run into the issue of, oh, girl, I know I said I was going to have this to you. Oh, sis, I know I said I was going to have this to you yesterday, but the kids, blah, 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 so I'm going to have to give it to you next week. No, I don't know, sis. I don't care about your kids or anything else that you're doing. What I care about is that I needed this product or service by a certain time. So we as Black business owners, we can't relax and we can't assume that we automatically deserve the dollars from the Black community. We don't. We have to earn. In fact, we have to give twice what the big box stores get because people are expecting us to fail. They're expecting to get lackadaisical work and, oh, let me throw you a couple of dollars because you're Black owned. No, I want you to take pride in my business and refer me to other people and be pleasantly surprised. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Absolutely.
So I'm saying a whole lot, but I love supporting Black businesses. I have built over the years a kind of community of businesses that I know are trusted and I can go to and I can refer to other businesses. But by all means, I cannot and will not be referring Black businesses just because they're Black. And I don't know what kind of service they're going to give. Because unfortunately, some of us have that mentality. Well, I'm a Black business. I can kind of be lackadaisical in my service.
Right.
No, they'll understand. No, I don't understand, and expect people to understand. So, thank you for letting me call in.
Very good points. We appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, have a great
Love the
day.
insight.
All right. You too. So yeah, that was good because it came from a Black owned
Yes.
business person, and you know, she brought up some very excellent points because mentioning, I think the key thing that I heard that she, you know, her mentality, I'm not just going to support you just because you're Black, and that's my mentality as well. If I had a choice, if I'm looking for what about the market for? I don't know.
Some boots.
As a matter of fact, I was about to say a fashion designer.
See?
and I see, and I'm probably gonna get some shout outs, and I see Studio V right here, and then I see another organization over here, and Studio V I know is Black owned. I know they're Black owned.
Wow.
And I see other ones. I'm gonna first go to Studio V.
Right.
Because I know her work, I know her quality, I know her products, and I know she's not going to,
she's built the trust in her product. Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm going to go to her first.
Mm-hmm.
Now, God forbid, somewhere along the way, she kind of messes up a little bit. I'm gonna message her, hey, sweetie, something wasn't right with this or something like that. And that's because I know her character and I know, what she's capable of. And as I was starting to say before we had the phone call, maybe she had a bad day, or maybe, the people that are working with her, did something,
But you know what? When you have a business, you cannot afford to have a bad day. If you want to make some money, if you want your business to survive, if you want just more than clients, you want clientele. You don't want just customers.
But
you
you don't give them a pass if they just happen to make a little small mistake.
You know what?
Like she sent me a size small when it should have been a medium.
What I'm saying is this: we should not.
I'm not saying Studio V did that.
We should not assume. And if we're coming to this mentality, then this is bad. If we're coming to the mentality that, okay, I'm going to support this Black-owned business, and somewhere in the crevice of your mind, you're bracing yourself for something that is substandard. That is not good.
No.
That is not good. And supporting a Black-owned business should not be synonymous with you accepting that you're going to get something of a lower standard.
True.
And I think that when it comes to that, now don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that everything has to be at the pinnacle, but professionalism, class, being on point, on target, meeting your target dates, everything that is professional about that should be at an acceptable level. And so one of the areas that I see, and this is not with every Black-owned business, but even just like customer service. Customer service.
That is so key.
But I think sometimes we miss it. Not saying that we're angry Black business owners, but I think sometimes we miss the importance of customer service. Getting back to the customer.
That helps to build that rapport. That helps to build your character.
Yes. If I call, I was referred to somebody a little bit ago, and I had to, and they owned, you know, and I had to call them over and over again. And after about the third or fourth, I was making excuses. Now this other person that referred me was like, no, G, go. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I even referred you. But I found myself making excuses, and I had to check myself. I said, you know, and I asked myself, if this business owner was not Black, would I give them the same leeway?
Ooh. Okay, let's hop over here to Facebook Live because they're commenting and we asked them to join us with the conversation. Trinana says here, I do not know if this was said. I think we have to tell people. I have told a business, especially a Black business, that pretty much you have to do better. Ooh. Oh, wow. Good. A few have been very receptive and appreciate me being honest. That's good stuff right there. Because sometimes you just have to, you know, be, somebody may call that brutal. I don't really call that brutal. She was just really just telling them. But sometimes you have to be like open and frank like that. And I appreciate that. She also says she told a business about not opening on time. She said, I have said something about not delivering on time. You have to do better. She says she has been thanked and once cursed out, but she did say something because she wanted the Black businesses to be successful. And that was a great, that was a great reason for her to give that feedback to them because she wanted them to be successful. So that's a good mentality to have. Tridana, because you know sometimes we can just be so done with the Black-owned business we don't even tell them what they did and just I'm not going back anymore. Right. So that's another aspect. Right.
And I think you can deal with someone who owns a business who is not good at accepting critique and criticism. Professional businesses, whether they're Black-owned or not, a lot of times have means for you to critique them. For you take a survey and you give them 5 stars or 3 stars, and here's why. And they make that available to new potential customers, and it serves as a critique, and it serves as them being credible. This is how you know we're credible, because this is how we're, you know, grading our service with our customers. If that's not in place, or if they are not open to receiving any kind of constructive criticism, that's a negative sign. That's a negative sign. Yeah. Because I'll go that extra mile with you if I can come to you and tell you, okay, this kind of missed it, but let's see how we can work together to make sure that this doesn't happen in the future. For sure. But if you shut me down in the beginning, then why would I come back?
Yes. Yeah. Why would you come back? And I wouldn't, because that tells me you don't want to listen. You don't want to improve. See, and you think you're right and that nobody can. Now, okay, that's your business. It's your business. You know, maybe created it from the ground up or whatever. I'm not trying to tell you to go back and redo, you know, the building and everything else. We're just trying to give you some constructive criticism so you can continue and improve. That's the way I would take it. I see you on, Buddy Gill, Sanctuary owner, which is Nicole Chapman. That's another Black-owned business. And she actually was one of the participated in the giveaways on Mind, Body, and Soul the other week. So we appreciate you for joining and watching us. Please give your thoughts and opinions as well. I did hear the phone ringing, so whoever that was that called, we're going to ask you to call back again in a few more moments. Let's see. D'Amica Brown says, I trust those that I do business with. She says she's loyal. Integrity and quality product is a requirement. Once you have me, you have me. But when things become questionable, I exit stage left. And I'm like that too. That's excellent. Yeah. Because I find myself being loyal too as well. But now don't.
And by questionable, Evangelist D'Amica, if you can call in, by questionable, do you mean the product or the service, or do you mean does that go into unethical practices?
Ooh, it might be a combination.
You know, because sometimes when people are getting startup businesses from the ground up. They are more open to doing certain things that may not necessarily be as ethical as a next brand that has a foundation, you see. And so how far, are there any no-go points where I'm not going to go beyond this?
Okay.
You see, I see you struggling, but I can't go beyond this point.
Right.
This
is a hot topic tonight. I see you guys, and I'm gonna try and get to as many of your comments as we can. Kanan Davenport, he's a Black-owned businessman, and he has a barbershop actually in please help me, Wisconsin, I believe. And he says here, as a Black-owned business, he finds that our product has to be 2 times as good.
Absolutely.
And now that's from
even with us.
Yes, well, that's the Black business owner speaking. Because we can talk as patrons, but then I'm glad he said that because we want to hear from the owners as well. We have a caller on the line.
God bless you. How are you, Pastor Cece?
Wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Hey, Pastor
Cece. I just had a comment, possibly 2 comments on the topic. One of the parts that I saw was even if they're more expensive, and this is something personal for me because as a new business owner, many times we are not privy to different networks where raw materials are made available at a lower cost. And another thing was I was at a workshop, and over again, the professionals were talking about how difficult it is for them to obtain financing, even though their credit scores are fine. It's like they got to the very end, and the bank would say, "Oh no, we're not able to give you this line of credit or these funds." And so, these are things that we should take into account, but these are things that also I think we should begin to work together and form networks. One of the things that my brother shared with me years ago is that part of the reason why you see so many beauty supply places that are owned by a certain ethnicities is because they actually band together and assist one another, and then they buy in bulk so that all the prices can be lower.
Right.
So I think that's also something that we need to do, not only to support our own businesses, but also to figure out ways to make them more profitable, because when money stays in our communities, it benefits us.
Oh my God, you've just brought us some excellent points. That is so good right there, because and you don't really think about it. I didn't know that's, it sounds reasonable that that's what they do, right? Band together and then.
But even what she said, as far as not having access to less expensive products in bulk because you don't have certain accounts with certain firms or certain manufacturing companies. That's something that the consumer doesn't consider.
Right.
That may drive up the cost. And just what she said and what you just mentioned about the networking, I think that if we establish forms of networking amongst us, and maybe even in order for you to get into this network, you have to be credible. So in other words, you have to meet certain standards. You have to have certain credentials. You have to have certain testimonials from people who have witnessed or experienced your product or service. And then you're able to get into this network. And then that serves as a way for everyone that is in there to support one another. See, the first requirement is that they buy from one another. And then that springboards them to the next phase of their ministry. Of their business.
It is ministry.
But that's ministry too.
Yeah, it is.
It really is. And so if we support one another like that, I think that we can overcome some of the negative, mentalities as it relates to.
Now, can I interject this? I got excited when you said if we could support one another. Then I got sad. You know why I got sad? Because we don't, and it's like we have to.
Where does that start? What is that? What
and see, that's a whole nother show. But
Like who put that in us?
Oh, I'm so sorry, Pastor Cece. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
calling. We just kind of got
Yeah.
into the conversation, but yeah, that. Okay, go ahead. Where did it come from?
Who? I'm asking. Did that start? Because I don't think that began in us. I really don't. I think that we have been taught to compete. We've been taught to compare and critique and criticize one another to the degree that we can't support one another wholeheartedly in some venues.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think that was something that was put in us. That's a whole nother show.
It is. It is a whole nother show. Let me tell you something. When Pastor CC called in and she was talking, it reminded me when she talked about how the beauty supply, places, and she was being very, very nice, and how she said other ethnicities are, kind of like overtaking though that industry. We know it to be true. The other week, I was headed to get my hair done, and I got to the shop, and then I had to run back home for something, so I had to leave the shop. And she called me while I was out. My hairstylist did. She said, "Can you run by the beauty supply place and pick up an item?" She said, "I'm out of this." I said, "Okay, sure." So I went home to take care of what I had to take care of, and then on my way back, I said, "Let me try and go to one that's on the way back, so I won't be too far behind getting back to the beauty supply. I mean, no, I'm sorry, to the beauty shop." So there was a beauty supply that I had never been to before. So and it was along the route. I pulled in, and so I went on in and asked them for the item because I didn't know where to find it. And so I noticed as I'm walking in, it's a Saturday morning, mind you. As I'm walking in, the owner had to be, he's standing at the door. "Hi,
Yeah.
hi,
Yeah.
hi, welcome, hi." And I said, "Because you about to get our money. That's what
Yeah.
you're doing."
Yeah.
Not that he wasn't nice anyway, but I'm like, if this only had been black owned, I'd be, but I was grabbing it for
Well-
her to just get on my way. But that made me feel some kind of way. I'm just going to tell you that.
Not only that, but the flip side of that though is, because I've been in some of those hair care product places owned by certain ethnicities, and I've been greeted like that, but I've also been followed.
Oh, yes. Yes.
You see, so how again?
Oh,
how,
but he's following as he's speaking. He's following you
Yeah.
now.
So-
Whether it's with his eyes or he gets somebody else at the back of the store or
Right.
somewhere. Oh, they're following you for sure.
So how long should we endure that?
Ah, that's another story. And that makes me so angry. Okay, Facebook Live. Thank you. Tradana says she would try you out because you're black. Let's see. Oh my goodness. I'm scrolling up, guys, because you guys really did throw comments in here. Okay.
Can I read a comment?
You can.
Eric Terraball, I
Oh,
think that
hi,
is,
cousin.
says, however, serving black folks ain't easy. You will never please everyone in business.
Oh, that's so true.
That's true. That's true. You have to know who your market base is. You have to know, because you said a mouthful. Serving black folk can be difficult sometimes because we're vocal. We're vocal. And there's a reason why we're vocal. We've been told to be quiet for so long. So now we're vocal.
But then there's a way to be vocal too.
Absolutely. But even in receiving whatever comments that they have, the first thing I think that you have to understand or know is whether or not your product or service is for them anyway. Maybe the restraints and what you're asking. Some customers can ask for too much.
True.
They can ask too much out of that business owner and it not even be feasible or reasonable for them to give them what they're asking for. And you have to make a decision whether or not, okay, is my business really serving you? Can I afford to lose a customer like you? Because if I can,
bye-bye.
Deuces. And so I get that. I get that. Your business may not be for everybody. It may be for a certain race or a certain demographic within that race. a certain age group, a certain anything.
And then
So-
one thing that kind of make you think that sometimes when they come and they try to, oh, I can't use this word, when they try to bargain you down on your
Oh my
your
God.
prices,
And
you
that was,
know, and that can go in conjunction with what Pastor CC
I'm
was
so
saying.
glad you said that.
You know, because too many times we think you look like me, so you should give me a discount.
Right.
You have my skin color, so you should give me a discount. And we cannot go in there with that mentality, because guess what? Like Brandy called in, she said that's her bread and butter. That her business is her bread and butter. So why would you try to Jew her down? Oh, Jesus, I said it. Okay. Why would you try to bargain her down? Forgive me, guys. You shouldn't do that. So we have to watch ourselves. Sanctuary owner says here, if we don't support each other, then who will? I don't see other nationalities putting their people down. Oh, that's a great comment. Great comment.
Something to go along with what you said, though, what you just said. One of the ways that we can actually support Black-owned businesses, and number one on the list is what you just said. It says, don't automatically expect or demand a discount.
Yes.
Why is it that when we come to us, with somebody that looks like us, that we expect some sort of discount or, some sort of, knockoff as it relates to the price? It says Black products matter and should not be treated as less. If you want to support the economy of your community, you should give it equal fiscal respect and not look for racial familiarity as a default coupon when making the purchase.
Right.
So now your skin color becomes a coupon that says, oh, brother, can you help me out?
Right.
And so I think in some ways,
when you know you have the money,
when you know,
stop playing.
When you know you have the money and you're so ready to go somewhere else and prepared to go somewhere else and spend what's required.
And you will do it in a heartbeat.
You'll do it.
Now I'm gonna tell you something. So if you and think about it on this flip, you do it because you're supposed to pay, what they're giving you, and then after a while, I mean, if that's a service that you continually have, that business owner will be like, okay, you're a repetitive customer.
Yeah.
You come back all the time. Like my hairstylist, sometimes, she may, hey, I know you're gonna be here every week, she may do that out of her, but I don't ask her,
right?
But that's because you've been consistent, and you do it. So, okay. I think I'm still flustered by the comment I made earlier. Anyway, Kanan says here, he strives to set his standards higher than his competitors.
Wonderful.
That's good. That's good to know. And business owners should definitely keep that in mind.
Wonderful.
Brandy says here, she does also. She tried to always go above and beyond. She owes it to the consumer for choosing her over somebody else. I like that mentality. That's good.
Yes.
Sanctuary owner Nicole says, I get poor customer service from other races in Black communities, but why don't we complain about that? Whoa. Okay.
What was that again? I'm sorry.
She gets poor customer service from other races in Black communities.
Absolutely.
But we don't complain about that. And she's bringing up a good point. And that can go in conjunction with what I was saying with the beauty supply, or like
Absolutely.
you said, you've been followed.
Yeah.
When you go in establishments like that.
And we'll yet go back.
We'll yet go back. Get that hair.
And so that's the question. So how long do you do it or put up with it at the expense or at the the urging of supporting the Black-owned business?
Right. It's got to be a balance. It's got to be
Definitely.
Some kind of a distinction there, and your standards have to be, you as the consumer, you have to have certain standards, and then of course as the business owner, you have to have certain standards as well, as even Kanan and Brandy were saying. Buddy Gill says, I do want to support the Black-owned businesses, but I do expect the same level service at the minimum as I do from the other business owners. It's only right. I agree. He says, our money is green and does not change colors for the Black business owners. That's true. So, so he's talking to the Black business owners. So this is good. So all of you that are on here, definitely make sure your service, your product is up to par As Kanan said, he tries to do above and beyond to make it twice as good. Let's see here. It says Tridana was a blessing to that business. Oh, when she gave her constructive criticism. Honest and constructive feedback is absolutely priceless.
It's necessary.
Okay, you read Eric's comments here. Let's scoot down. Arnold is a Black-owned business owner. Thanks for watching on this evening. Let's see, Patricia Sanders Stansberry, thank you for watching. But he also says here, I think business owners, no matter your skin color, should always remain a student of your game or your industry. Listen to your customers so that you can learn to meet the needs, meet the demands. Find the void and learn how to fill it, and you'll be successful. Oh, that was very good, buddy. Thank you, bud. Appreciate that. Eric says here, we really don't have anything to support but funeral homes, barbershops, used tire shops, beauty shops, and a few eating establishments. Well, you want to say something to that?
I think we got some creative people out there that are offering some businesses that are different than the norm.
Yeah.
That's another thing about it. When that becomes a mentality, then it's something that you look for and not necessarily happen upon. It's not necessarily because someone of your race approached you and said, I have this business, but you deliberately seek out the Black-owned businesses and understand if that is your motivation, if that is what your intent is, you may have to go the extra mile to find them. So, like, whereas McDonald's or Burger King or Wendy's may be on every other corner, to find that soul food restaurant, you got to go, you have to travel a little bit, and it's more deliberate. And so I think the support, if we really have it in our hearts and minds to support, then that's really a more deliberate effort than it is like a happenstance. I'm hungry. Oh, I'm deliberately going to go to do some across town if I have to, even if I got to drive a little bit longer, and I'm going to support someone who is trying to do something, and they got their stuff together. They're doing it big, they're doing it right, and I want to support their effort. And so I think it's important. I think that's an important mentality for us to have to support our own.
Yeah, I agree. Because as Nicole said earlier, if we don't support our own, who's going to do it? And I agree with that. There's a comment, let's see, a response to Sanctuary Owner said, yes, we do complain when other businesses fail us. And 9 times out of 10, they're going to do everything in their power to make it right. The same should happen when we complain about a Black-owned business. But does it? So meaning, is the Black-owned business going to do everything to make it right after we complain? I think that's the question she's saying.
Wow.
Clarify for me, is that what you're saying? Because a lot of times they'll probably just get back at you, try to fuss back at you or maybe kick you out or something. Let's see, I always have stories, don't I? I was actually doing an Uber Eats delivery, and the different establishments, whether they are chain stores, they do have different owners. So this was a Black-owned Harold's Chicken chain. Okay. And so
I know it well.
Close your ears. So I was in there picking up an order. Now, mind you, there were a lot of people in there for their own orders, and then there were a couple of other Uber drivers as well. So this one guy is behind the counter. He's handling. He's only one guy. The people who were in the back were, making the food or whatever. So he's, handling. He's okay. I'll get you. And he was doing it. This lady comes in, and obviously she worked there. You know how they have the door for you to go to the back. She comes in and she starts bamming on the door. And I'm looking at her like,
Hmm.
but she was trying to get him to open the door because she worked there.
Okay. Gotcha.
And she's and he didn't hear her at first. So she kept then she did it louder, bam on the door. So finally he came to open. And so when she got in the door, she starts fussing, da 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 da. And then she starts helping him out. That's how I realized she worked there. But I'm thinking to myself, that was so unprofessional of her. We're all in here, to get this food. And to me, now I was picking up an Uber Eats delivery. I'm not going back there.
Right.
Because of how this is how she presented this establishment to me. I'm sorry. And it was so unprofessional. Now she overshadowed the young black man that was in there handling his business. She overshadowed it with her behavior.
I saw something similar at a car wash place that was previously owned by a white company. And then it was closed, or I don't know if they sold it, but they sold it to some of us, some brothers.
Oh Lord.
And actually, what I saw was that they actually went up a notch.
Oh, really?
As a whole, but that scenario that you just brought up, one of the, and I don't know if it was a niece or a daughter or a cousin, but she was obviously related to the business owners, came in, and I mean, just fussing and cussing and I, from the outside, I'm looking, I'm like, okay, this has to be a disgruntled customer. And I wonder what happened, because they usually take care of me. Come to find out, when she got close to the front table, I saw her put a vest on that had the logo.
No.
And I'm like, what?
Are you serious?
And now I knew that it wouldn't deter me, because I know that they do a wonderful job on my car. But I thought about that same thing. I said, I wonder who's not gonna come back.
Yes.
Because
somebody's not gonna come back because of how she acted.
Because of how she just carried herself.
And so that's another aspect of it. The black-owned businesses, who you have working for you, and how, because they're representing you.
And that's an added layer, because she's family.
Oh.
So in order to maintain a certain level of professionalism in the area of business, do you keep family in certain positions?
Right.
Because she was not adding to, she was actually taking away.
Oh my God.
Because everyone else, was very professional, very, knew how to handle themselves. And she came in, but she came in like she owned the place.
Ooh-wee.
She probably was, on some level.
She might,
but I thought
was she young?
That. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's move on these comments here. Let's see here. Alethea, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Thank you for joining us. Her comment is, "We are a difficult people, but I love us."
I just glanced at that, and I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
I think that with some of us, and let's not discredit this, some of this, I grew up in a small town, Elkhart, Indiana. I went to high school with you're
the only black, right?
I was,
aside from your siblings.
That not in high school. In grade school, yeah.
Okay.
But in high school, it was a little different. It was more of a mixture. But I knew people whose parents owned businesses and companies.
Wow.
And this and so it was in their lineage. It was in their, so now it's in their heritage. They're going to inherit this, and it's ingrained in them. Let's not discount the fact that some of us are first generation business owners. So we're getting our feet wet. You know what I mean? We're understanding things. We're understanding how to function, how certain things work in the business world. And there is, for some of us, that learning curve. I love dealing with us. Yeah, it may be a little more challenging at times, but I love dealing with us, and dealing with people who aren't from our background may be challenging, equally or worse. in a whole different area.
Right.
You see,
Right.
so it's kind of you got to balance it.
It's got to be a balance.
Gotta
And
be.
somebody don't like us. This is in this article that's trying to tell us, remind us about supporting Black businesses. This says here, and maybe somebody can do a fact check on this. It says studies have revealed that about 850 billion circulates through the Black consumers each year. Meanwhile, 90% of that total is channeled to businesses owned by non-Blacks. Hello, somebody.
Wow.
Somebody don't like Black-owned businesses. Unlike other inequality issues, this is one that forces us to look internally. So many different sayings and examples have been given for a very, very long time on how enabling a community to provide for itself is much more powerful than simply giving to the community. And I'm seeing the comments on here. Buddy Gill says something here. He said, let's be honest about us as a people, Black people. We're the hardest and most difficult to please and satisfy. Look at how much church hooping we're doing. Now, I wonder, I mean, I read his comment on purpose in conjunction with that I just told you about the study. Is that why we go to non-Blacks and spend our 850 billion that circulates through Black consumers? Is because we can't get together, or we're difficult? What's the reason? What's going on?
You know what? Man, this can go into a whole nother conversation.
It really
because you know, when you talk about where we put our money, you also got to talk about what system do we empower. And so when we talk about systems of rule and government and power that have been against us and that have not been for us, but then we still give our money to people who help to facilitate these systems. Something happened last year. I can't remember what it was, but there was a movement, if I'm not mistaken, for us to shut down on Black Friday. Was that last year or the year before?
Yeah. Last year, I think.
Yeah,
right?
with all the injustices and all the stuff going on in our communities, and there was a movement that was established for us to not spend our money on Black Friday or spend our money on a particular day.
Right.
And there was they went on to say, okay, this is how much the African American community contributes to the economy on this day. What if we just kept all of our money in our pocket on this day? We can cripple this system. And I thought about that and I said, wow, I said, that's very forward thinking. But what's the alternative? Are we just keeping our money in our pockets? Or what if on that same day we went and supported a Black-owned business instead on that same day? What if we did that for a week? And see, if we really want to see the transference of power and disrupting certain systems that have us bound, money is at the forefront of that, and how we govern ourselves with money and how we utilize it and where we put it. See, I think that shutting down for a day, I think is notable. I think is noteworthy. I think is whatever you want to call it is but the alternative should be us saying, okay, instead of doing this, let's go support Black-owned. Let's go support this. And maybe you have a list that says, instead of going to McDonald's, go to Harold's. I mean, I'm just making, but
I'm so glad Dr. Hill can't hear this.
What if we did that to give people an alternative that says, okay, let's blow us up in one day, and on that day, we as a people, we make sure that we are on our best behavior as business owners.
Right. Insider. Darcy says here, we should support Black-owned businesses if they have what you need within our budget exudes great customer service, and fulfills our services in a professional and timely manner.
Yes.
Okay, I agree with that. She also says, stop looking or asking for a hookup anywhere else. You pay what's required. And she's another Black-owned business owner as well. Let's see. Kana says, I like to tip on top to show support for minority businesses. This is good. And I think probably if you become a Black-owned business, you become more sensitive too.
Yes, you do.
You know, let's see. Eric says we need to get serious about the profit margin and stay out these Asian establishments. Wake up. Lord,
I like
my
Eric.
cousin. He's just gonna speak his mind in a minute.
Eric, we got to talk.
Buddy says here, there's nothing like driving across town to that soul food joint only to get there and have them tell you they're out of collard greens or smothered pork chops.
But you know what? It's the same as if you go to McDonald's and they ain't dropped your fries yet.
Oh, come on, work it.
You know,
I love it.
There's a soul food restaurant in my town, right around the corner from me, called Ruby's. And when I tell you, and every now and then you go there and the collard greens they done ran out of collard greens.
Because everybody else came in and bought
But
them
you know what? It's a testament. It's not that they're working slow. When I say that business is on and popping.
Really? Where's this place at?
It's called Ruby's. It's right on 183rd and Pulaski in Country Club Hills.
Okay.
And so interesting point. But coming from somebody who's a soul food restaurant connoisseur,
he's just dubbed himself.
You know,
I'm not mad at you.
I think there's a reason. Yeah, and I think we need to approach Black-owned businesses with that reasoning too. Yeah, there has to be a standard of professionalism, but understand too what they have, the resources they have to work with, and the position where they are in their startup. Are you just starting? Have you just been in business for 3-5 months? I think all of that should be in consideration because it's about us helping and uplifting one another.
Okay.
So.
A couple more comments here. Eric says, if we had Black businesses, our neighborhoods would not look as they do. Just look from 87th and Halsted all the way south to the river. One funeral home, a State Farm office. He's so right. And 2 Harold's Chickens, but 47 churches. Let's talk about it. Ooh, that's a whole nother show. Arnold says, can
I add to that?
You can.
He's getting down because you know what? Number one, the money that is being spent is probably being taken out of the community first.
Yes.
And then when you look at all the churches there, how many of those church members are from that community?
Right.
You know, it may be that a lot of the people are coming from different areas, you know, and really, see, that's a whole nother story too, because then you got to talk about the local church and what they're doing in the community.
Yes.
So interesting point.
He's right, because there's so many. My late father used to he used to ride up and down the street to Chicago and just look at that church. Look at that. I mean, just all these churches up and down the street. He just, I mean, it irked him to no end, because he's like, okay, now look at these communities and you know what's happening here. You know, aside from you got your church here, and then two doors down you get this church, 2 doors down you get that. You know, are they just places of worship, or are they places where they're invoking change? Exactly. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And that would be his question. Yeah. Arnold says here, do you think we can do you think we can ever get back in the Black Wall Street mentality? See, where if I walk down the block, they are all owned by Black owners someday. Oh, maybe that's our Ask the Host segment. I don't know. But see, this conversation is sparking. It should lead us into that direction. Yes. You know, and I think if we look at it from the right perspective, those of us with that mindset, we can. I think it's possible. I think we can do it. Yeah. I think we can do it. You know, the mentality definitely has to change, and coming together. I love what Pastor Cece said. You know, that she learned of the other persuasions and how they do. I don't know how we can. the Lord's gonna have to help. Right? Bottom line, because we have to come together as one for it to even work, for it to even think about working. Buddy says here, it's no secret that us Black people are the biggest consumers, and the non-Black business owners knows this very well. Pay attention to their marketing strategies, yes, and the locations too,
Yes.
the commercials, etc. Totally agree. Totally agree.
And then they don't support our businesses.
No, really? You
They
really
don't-
think they're gonna come up?
They
No,
don't
they do
support our
not.
businesses,
Come on now.
You know, but we run to their businesses,
Yeah,
and we got
In a
to
minute.
shift that.
it's
we-
convenient. It's right there on the corner. Go down there to. I don't want to call out no name. Going down the corner. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
When was the last time you supported? Like, how often do you support Black-owned businesses? When was the last time?
the last time? Today.
Oh, excellent.
I'm sitting here in the Black-owned business establishment
there you
right
go.
now.
Absolutely. Well, that's me too.
Yeah, intellectual radio. They give a shout out, Earl the other Winfrey. But yeah, so outside of that, let's see. What's today? Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
I guess probably when I did the Uber Eats the other day, but that
Well,
wasn't for me.
I think Friday for me, I had something to eat
No, I take that back. Yesterday,
yesterday.
my hairstylist.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
There we go. I had to think. Okay. Let's see. You know what? We have a Black-owned business that we want to hear 2 minutes from. Mo Faith Nutritional Services. I know we're hopping here because this topic has almost taken us to the end of today's broadcast. So let's hear this real quick and we'll come right back so we can end the show. Take a listen.
Riddle me this. Have you gone out to the health food store or to your favorite GNC place and all of those other vitamin stores to get you vitamins and minerals and colon cleansers and all of those things for Christmas? Listen, what your body will need is 3,000 enzymes to carry out the 7,000 processes, plus all of that it will have to do because of all of the sugars and the fats and the toxins and the poisons you will be putting in your body on Christmas Day. So where are you going to get those 3,000 enzymes to carry out the 7,000 processes? Not in a bottle, box, or can. You'll only find them in raw foods. You know, you've heard me say it, those are the large rainbow salads. They will help to give your body what it needs to fight off all of those things, detrimental things that you will be doing to it on Christmas Day. So listen, get your rainbow salad, get it prepared, get yourself prepared to eat one every day, and you will be better prepared for all of that food stuff that you'll be putting in your body. Listen, I'd like to thank you for taking your time out for Mo Faith Quick Bites. If you'd like to get the Mingle Seed, you can find it on Amazon.com and other media outlets. Blessings.
She is the best.
She is the best.
Just go ahead and ruin
Just-
Christmas dinner 2 weeks in advance.
She said it's not going to be in a box or a can. Go and get your vegetables. Go and get your rainbow salad. Dr. Hill be laying it on, okay? Again, Black-owned business, Mo Faith
Yes,
Nutritional
Nutritional
Services, MOPHETH Nutritional Services. Brandy, if you get a chance, if you can put her information there, people can contact Dr. Shirley Hill. Oh my goodness. All right.
And I'll say it again. There is nothing that she has ever told me that when I did it, it did not work.
Okay.
She knows her stuff.
That's a great testament right there.
Absolutely.
That's good. That's good stuff. You guys, I just want to appreciate all of you for your input on tonight, your comments, those that are called in, and really have to take heed to what we were saying. I'm sorry, I'm getting messages all over the place. They're popping up here. Those that I did not get a chance to call your names out, thank you for joining us on tonight, sharing in this hot topic because it is something that is definitely needed. Now, with that in mind, if any of you that are Black owned businesses or just have your own businesses and you would like to advertise here on Mind, Body, and Soul and A&D Conversation, we still have our special. We call it our Black Friday special running through the end of this year. You need to sign up before the end of the year. You can run your advertisement at any time on our show, but we need you to sign up before December 31st. Now, the deal is you get a chance to advertise your business on both shows, Mind, Body, and Soul with Annette on Wednesdays at 12 noon Central Standard Time for 2 hours during the 2-hour show. And then also on Tuesday and Thursday from 5 to 7 p.m. We will keep the price the same because it would just be for one show normally, but we will have you advertise on both shows. That's our Black Friday special. Inbox us. You can email us, mindbodyandsoul@gmail.com.
Absolutely.
I believe Brandy's put the information in the, hopefully she's put it in the live feed. Email us, let us know what you would like to do. We can get your advertisement out because this is going all out. People are listening. Your business can get the exposure that it needs here. So we encourage you to do so. And it's not very expensive and you don't have to bargain us down.
You don't have to bargain us down.
You don't have to bargain us down. It's not expensive at all. I see comments here thanking us. Eric says, great show. Oh, we got your pressure up. I'm sorry. Thanks, Kanan. I appreciate you. Appreciate you so much. I'm so proud of him and his brother. I really am. Kanan and Chris. I mean, all the Davenports. They're doing wonderful.
Let me say something. I just saw Evangelist Demetrius Hunt and that just made me think about something, even as far as like the music industry, like when we have ministry gifts.
Yes.
Do new music projects and they're selling their CDs and we're asking for discounts. On their, God done took them in and they done produced this wonderful piece of work and then we ask for a discount.
That's their bread and butter too.
Right. Stop asking for discounts and let's pay them what they deserve. For what they're offering.
Exactly.
Let's value them.
Exactly. I'm glad you said that. You have authors, you have recording artists, you have, all those who have different projects. So yes, let's support them, not bargain them down. I'm not gonna use that word again. Let's do it. Okay.
We want the hookup.
We want the hookup. Listen, you will see Apostle Hunt and Annette 3 days this week.
Yes.
Right?
2 more days this week.
2 more days. So you had tonight. We will see you tomorrow at 12 noon. He's going to join Annette on our show tomorrow. And we're actually going to kind of continue this a little bit. We're going to talk about the agenda in the Black community on tomorrow. And we have a wonderful guest, Ted Williams III. He's an actor. He's an activist. He is an author and he knows his stuff.
Wow.
He knows his stuff on this. He's written a book called, I believe, Way Out. So make sure you guys tune in tomorrow, 12 noon Central Standard Time. We will be here in Intellectual Radio. And then we'll be back again on Thursday evening.
Yes.
5 to 7.
Excited.
Putting us on this evening. Go ahead. You can continue sharing this so others can hear this broadcast as well. You will notice there are 2 live feeds. The first one went down and then we had to do another one. And then you could also go to YouTube. And A&D Conversation over there. Okay. So we thank you guys again. And until next time, you're listening to Mind, Body, and Soul and A&D Conversation.
If you need wisdom for the mind and deep down in your soul, tune in for the ride. It's Mind, Body, and Soul. An A&D Conversation. An A&D Conversation.